Hey friends, just popping in here really quick to let everybody know that I will be at Gen Con this year. For those of you who are also going to be there and may want to stop by and say hi, I will be running some games, I will be playing some games, and I will be hosting a seminar about the importance of women in gaming both on Thursday and on Saturday of Gen Con. If you are interested, you can find my seminar. It's called Closing the Gap, The Importance of Women in Gaming. You can find that in your Gen Con events catalog. I hope to see you there. Let me know if you're available. Hit me up on Threads or anywhere else on my socials and come take a selfie with me. I'd love to meet any of you who may be out there. I hope to see you there. Anyway, back to the video. Most people don't believe in monsters, but they're real. When someone finds out that monsters are real, it's usually just before they get eaten. But some people are mean enough, smart enough, crazy enough, or hurt enough that they live. And some of those survivors go on a crusade against the monsters. That's you. It could be that you make a stand and defend your hometown from everything evil that comes there. It could be that you take to the road and go hunt them down wherever you can find them. It could be that you have magic powers to put you on an even footing, or that your name came up in prophecies thousands of years ago. The one sure thing is that you aren't going to go back to your old, safe life. Hey nerds, welcome to another episode of Learning to Play TTRPGs. My name is Atlas and I really like role-playing games. We've done fantasy, we've done sci-fi, we've done modern, and now I'm so excited to dive deep into the horror genre. For fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The X-Files, or Supernatural, I have got a game for you. 1 week, face down the Mothman, another take on a chupacabra, or a horde of extraterrestrials. It's a system full of monsters, conspiracies, and following clues to take down the threat and protect your city. So join me as we suit up to take on monsters, ghosts, ghouls, and aliens, and dive deep into Monster of the Week. Let's get into it. Created by Michael Sands and first published by Evil Hat Productions in 2015, Monster of the Week is an action horror role-playing game that takes inspiration from IPs like Supernatural,
Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cake hole.
Scooby-Doo,
Looks like we've got another mystery on our hands.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Hello, lover.
The X-Files, and more. It adds hilarity to scary, terrible, and impossible situations, and makes a larger-than-life monster hunting experience fun for its players. Based off of the Apocalypse engine, Monster of the Week is a D6-based system, where one person will act as the keeper of monsters and mysteries, or just keeper for short, and the rest will act as hunters. The keeper will create or find an established mystery for the hunters. The hunters will then work together to solve the mystery, take down the monster, save the day, have a couple of beers, and do it all again tomorrow. This game's main focus is on collaboration. The group will create a story together through conversation, character history, and each character's strengths and weaknesses. This shouldn't feel like a, okay, what do you do next kind of game. The creators want it to feel like a natural conversation of what you would do if you had a monster or alien threat coming to attack your city, and the only thing standing in the way of your home and certain destruction is you. The keeper's job is to paint a picture, set a scene that feels real and scary. What happens if the characters don't get involved? What would it mean if the cool action hero just decided to say, nah, I'm gonna sit this one out? Hunters, how will you sleep at night knowing that your city and everyone you care about could be destroyed by a horde of mind-eating brainworms, or a billionaire warmonger bent on world domination? This game is more than just taking down one monster after another. It's also about the threats you can't see. Can you trust the barista at your local coffee shop? Can you trust that friendly cop who you're weirdly cool with? Can you even trust your fellow hunters? Danger lurks around every corner, and not everything is met with a reward. Does this sound like a game for you? Let's learn how to play. So, you want to be a monster hunter. First, let's find you a playbook. The first step is to decide whether the group as a whole wants a team theme. Maybe you're all agents from a secret government agency whose job it is to track down aliens a la Men in Black.
We are the men in black.
Or you could be a team of scrappy teens who, for some reason, and not at all a plot device, are constantly targeted by undead and living folklore. Go! Go! But you don't have to have a theme. Not right away, anyway. You could just be a handful of random people who now have a really weird part-time job. So who are you then? Each player will choose a hunter type, and each type can only be chosen once. So if there's already a Snoop, there can't be another one. You'll need to find another type. You could play as the Chosen, a once ordinary person who discovered they have a special destiny and perhaps a special power to help them achieve it.
Into every generation, a slayer is born.
Maybe heroes aren't really your thing, and you'd rather take on monsters out of vengeance by being one of the wronged.
I took down a monster because that's what I do.
You could just be a renegade conspiracy theorist who's obsessed with the mystery behind the monster.
A conspiracy bigger and more secret than the Manhattan Project.
There are a lot of playbooks, both in the rulebook and officially released ones, on top of fan-made ones, but there's also nothing saying that you can't come up with your own. You can work with your GM and roll on a bunch of tables to try to figure out some kind of playbook that works for you and the character you want to play. Once you have your hunters, you'll want to form a team. Now, if you've already decided on a theme from earlier, you're in good shape. But if you haven't decided why you formed your team, now is a good time to do so. There are team concepts in the rulebook, but you don't have to choose one of these if you don't want to. You could be a family, an after-school club, or an agency. Who knows? It's up to you. So you have your hunters, you've formed your team, now it's time to go get some baddies. Let's learn about moves. So the cool thing about this game is that there are no mundane roles. You just open the door. You just climb the rope. Moves cover things that normal people can't usually do, like casting a spell or doing something dangerous like fighting a monster. But you can also make a move roll if you want something more exciting or more detrimental to happen, like lying to the victim of a monster attack. It's fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. Moves will have triggers that tell you what to do next. Sometimes it will ask for a die roll to determine an outcome. Other times it might just grant you a special ability, give you a bonus roll, or give you extra options. It's not about rolling every single decision every single time. Hunters will have basic moves and playbook moves. All hunters share the same 8 basic moves, and then each hunter will have specific moves granted to them by their playbook. The basic moves are acting under pressure, helping out, investigating a mystery, kick some ass, manipulate someone, protect someone, read a bad situation, and use magic. In order to succeed at your roles, you'll need to add your rating, which is similar to your character stats in other tabletop role-playing games. Your ratings are cool. This is for helping out and acting under pressure move. It's how calm and collected you are in a dangerous situation. Tough. This is for the moves kick some ass and protect someone. It's how strong you are in a fight. Charm. This is what you will use when you want to manipulate someone. It's your persuasiveness or your pleasantness. Sharp. This is how observant you are. It's added when you want to investigate a mystery or read a bad situation. Weird is what you use when you want to use magic. It's how in tune with the supernatural you are. All of the ratings range from a -1 to a +3, with a 0 being average. From here, you know how it works. Roll your dice, add the modifier, and find out how well you succeed or don't. To really get into it, let's see what kind of person we can come up with. Let's create a character. So I'm looking in the book right now, and there's a lot of really fun, really cool characters, like the Chosen, your birth was prophesied. You could be the Crooked. This is like, I've been around the block a few times. I know some stuff. I'm tough, and you can't tell me shit. The Divine, I am sent from above to defeat the darkness. Evil fears me. I like this one. It's the Expert. It says, I have dedicated my life to the study of the unnatural. I know their habits, their weaknesses. I may not be youngest or strongest, but my knowledge makes me the biggest threat. Let's do this one. Now, there's a whole bunch of different aspects to this. I can pick everything from what they look like to the kind of clothes that they wear. It gives me a whole list of different ways that I can choose to lay out their stats. And then I get to pick my moves. You get all of the basic moves plus 2 expert moves. So I have a whole list. There's 7 different moves that I can pick from. And then you have your haven, which is this is your safe haven, your safe place to work. You get 3 of these options for your safe haven. Then you get into your gear. You get 3 monster slaying weapons. Then you get to your introductions and then your history. You also get to roll your luck, your improvements, your advanced improvements, and then it shows you what to do when you take harm and when you want to level up. It's a whole extensive list of how you want to write your own playbook. So it's really great for, even though there may not be 2 experts on a team, maybe when I want to play an expert in this game, if I ever get into a future game, I could still play an expert, but play an entirely different character just based on which stats and which moves and other kind of fluff that I pick. So it's really great for replayability, which is something that I think, in my personal opinion, you definitely want in your role-playing games, just because if you play the same kind of character every single time, it can get stale after a while. Even your favorite class and your favorite characters can tend to take a dip in making you happy to play that kind of character. I play rogues a lot. I play artificers a lot. And sometimes it can get stale. It can get boring. That's why I like playing a lot of different kinds of tabletop role-playing games, because it lets me kind of explore all the different kinds of characters that I can play. I'm going to say from my ratings, I can pick it's all the different ratings that are all laid out in different ways. So most of them, all of them are going to have sharp +2. So obviously if I'm an expert, that means I'm the smart one. I have a lot of knowledge on this thing. So my sharp is going to be my highest stat, obviously. But it looks like how this works is you get 1 +2, 2 +1, 1 0, and 1 -1. So you're going to have your dump stat like everything else does. And then you have an array of like more average stats and then one that you're really good at. So obviously my sharp is going to be a +2. I think I would want to have her tough be one of the like higher stats. So I think I'm going to make my tough a +1 as well. Oh, it looks here like, okay, so it looks like you can have 2 +2s if you take an additional -1. So it's kind of like, it's like point buy. You get so many points to divvy up on your stats. So if you're going to take 2 bonuses, you're going to need to take 2 weaknesses as well. So it evens out. But I don't think I want to have weird. I don't think I'm going to have her be a magic user, just because I feel, one, I don't usually like magic users. There's nothing wrong with magic users. I personally just don't like playing them. So I think I want to have her let's have her weird be 0 for a -1. And I'll have her tough be a +1. I would probably have her cool be a +1 as well, because I feel like if she's done this before, she's been around the block a few times, she's not going to get freaked out over every little situation. That leaves my charm as my -1. So right now I'm going to pick this first go around here, which is going to be my charm is a -1, +1 to my cool, +2 to my sharp, +1 to my toughness, and then 0 to weird. Okay, so now I get to pick my moves, and I have a list of about 7 that I get to choose from. I get to pick 2 of my playbook moves to be an expert in. So I have a lot of great choices here. I want to be really smart here with the moves that I'm choosing. I've read about this sort of thing, which is going to let me roll a sharp instead of a cool when I act under pressure. I think what I'm going to do is do preparedness, and I'll tell you why. Okay, because it says here, if you roll it, you have it right now. On a middle roll, you have it, but it's just not here. Maybe it's back at your safe haven. Maybe it's in the car. Who knows? But it also says on a miss, you know where it is, but it's somewhere real bad. So that could also be fun, because it could give your keeper an ability to write in, hey, you have this vampire killing garlic infused wooden stake, but it's in the vampire's home, and now you have to go get it in order to kill this vampire, which could be a lot of fun, because it'll give you another side quest. It could give like more danger to the situation. It could be more exciting. So I think I want to go with that. So I'm looking over Safe Haven, and I think I'm going to go with the Armory, which is you have a stockpile of mystical and rare monster killing weapons and items. If you need a special weapon, you roll a weird, and on a +10 or more, you have it and plenty of it, if that matters. On a medium roll, you have it, but only the bare minimum. And on a miss, you've got the wrong thing. So again, it leaves it up to chance, which again, I don't like doing. But if it's good things happen, and it can be a lot of fun. And we can like play out this like really awesome, like, yeah, I've got all the machine guns that shoot glitter and confetti. and it'll be really fun for the story, and I love that. And then I get to get into my gear, and I get 3 monster slaying weapons. So for my weapons, I chose the Magnum, which is it deals 3 harm. It's close range, but the reload is loud. I picked a flamethrower, which also does 3 harm. It's close range and it's fire and it's heavy, but it's volatile. And then for my third, I chose the magical dagger, which will do 2 harm, but it's magic. So if there's a creature or a monster or whatever that can only take magic damage, I have that availability to do so. The other issue is that it's only in my hand, so I have to be at close range. So I have a little bit mid-range, a little bit close range, and that's totally fine for me. So now that I have my character, now we're ready to get into the game. So let's get at it. How to play the game. Find the damn monsters and stop them. That's it. We'll get into combat in a second, but first you should know what to do when you're not actually fighting the monsters. If you're a puzzle lover like me, this game is top tier. The majority of your non-combat time during the game is spent on solving the mysteries with your team. Your keeper will give you clues, NPC details, and reactions to your decisions, results of how your choices affect the story, and more. It's also a really great game to do randomly if you like running games based on random rolling tables. Sometimes I find that really fun. If you haven't tried it, you should. It's a really great way to keep up your improv skills. Basically, your keeper will describe a situation to you. You and your crew will study the situation as if it were really happening, using logic, reasoning, research, and anything else that your particular character might know. From there, you'll come up with a plan of attack and attempt to solve the mystery of what could be behind this crazy random happenstance.
What a crazy random happenstance.
You figure out how to find it, learn what its weaknesses are, and take it down. When it's time to use a move, you'll discuss with your keeper what you'd like to do and how it would make sense in the moment. When you roll the dice, which this game just uses 2 standard D6s, you'll add whichever modifier makes sense and see what you can hit. A result of 7 is usually good. A roll of 10 or higher is really good. A roll of 6 or below is usually a failure of varying degrees and gives the keeper the opportunity to turn the tides on the hunters. There are also ongoing bonuses your hunter can get, some that you'll just use once, and some will be ongoing until the situation no longer applies. Then there are holds. These you will get a set amount of points. Each point can be spent 1 for 1 to get a specific effect. The move itself will tell you what you can spend those points on. Most of these moves are simple, with the exception of the use magic move, because with that you can even use what's called big magic, which has its own set of rules. Big magic goes beyond an everyday spell. This is more powerful stuff, like opening up a portal or resurrecting the dead. Big magic is more powerful, more dangerous, and can have much more dire consequences if it's screwed up. And even if you don't screw it up, it can still have permanent effects, like a massive sinkhole in the middle of your city or creating an alternate timeline. Once you figure out your moves and your magics, you can even get into the advanced move section, which will level up your game even more. There is a lot more to this game than I'm giving you here, so I encourage you to read the handbook for yourself. It goes really in depth on all the various things that you can do within the story. So let's get into combat. So combat is going to work a little bit differently than most other games. You really need to be strategic about the kind of fights that you get into. I know with a lot of people, they like to go immediately into hitting something, but that's not always wise. You can open up yourself, your teammates, or an innocent victim into taking harm. There are always other moves that you can do before going right into kick some ass. And when you do finally want to attack, you'll want to make sure that you have the lowest possible chance of taking harm. Now, when you get your gear, you can have armor, and the type of armor that you have, as well as the amount of armor you have, will decrease your risk of taking harm. But you can still end up in a serious situation if you're not careful. Serious wounds and injuries can't just be healed with a good night's sleep. They are persistent, and they will keep getting worse until you seek medical attention. Left untreated long enough, they'll kill you. But thankfully, there are multiple different ways on how to heal wounds. Now, the thing about monsters that I think is especially cool in this system is that monsters have weaknesses, and unless that monster's weakness is used against it, you can't kill it. Even if you win a fight against it, it will just keep coming back. This is where your planning sessions during your downtime really come into play here. It's your job to figure out that monster's weakness based on clues given to you by your keeper. You figure out these weaknesses by using your moves, talking to witnesses, and finding other clues that your keeper is going to pepper into the story for you. This, in my opinion, is the best part about this game. I love a good puzzle, and getting to come together around a whiteboard to figure out a mystery
Talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay?
is what got me interested in this game in the first place. You will all piece together evidence that you have found about the happenings around you, figure out how or even if it pertains to the particular monster, and use that to find its weakness, exploit it, destroy the monster, and save the world. And then come back and do it all again next week. This section is for the keepers. You, as the keeper, have two jobs. One, invent a mystery, which is a monster and a situation for your hunters to investigate and find out. Two, you are responsible for portraying the hunter's world. Describe the places that they see and the people that they meet. Also, how those things react to the hunter's actions. Here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to plan ahead. Prepare the situation and prepare what would happen if they chose not to act, but that's it. Once you sit down to uncover the mystery, it's up to the hunters to choose where to go, who to talk to, and how they want to take down the monster. You can prep enough to give you some reactions, some dialogue, and some descriptions of various places that they might visit, just as long as you remember it's only what's possible, not what's destined. This game is about the hunters and how they become epic heroes. The monsters just happen to be the catalyst for the story. You should ask questions to see how they come up with the answers, not because you want them to answer in a certain way. Your agenda as the keeper is simple. Make the world seem real. Play to see what happens. Make the hunters' lives dangerous and scary. This is a horror game after all. The book goes so much further in depth about creating mysteries, core principles to stick to, making monsters and villains, building world lore, and more. There are also introductory adventures to get you started, rules that you need to stick to, deeper looks into moves and playbooks, how to level up, story arcs, customizations, etc. And that doesn't even include its sister book, Tome of Mysteries. This book is 344 pages of epic storytelling for horror and mystery enthusiasts alike. So here's my recap and some thoughts. Because of my long history with Dungeons & Dragons, as I get further into my journey of alternative tabletop role-playing games, I find myself comparing all the games I play to how one might see it next to D&D. For example, this game is much less rules heavy than D&D. There is more collaboration, and there is far more open concept story design. So many people are used to having the DM come up with everything, so much so that there are countless books written on how to create worlds and systems and maps and adventures and NPCs. And for DMs who are so used to having to have every single minute detail figured out, this game is going to be wildly different. That being said, different is a good thing. If Monster of the Week was supposed to play like D&D, they would have just made a module for D&D. It's not supposed to play like that. It's supposed to be something that is built with everyone involved, and we don't take turns or roll initiative. We collaborate like a team and run a play. I don't really do sports, but think of it like basketball for a second. Your coach might put the skeleton of a play together, but the players have to work together to execute that play. And the only way that's going to work is if they know each other's strengths and weaknesses and how they all work best together, as well as anticipating how the other team might defend against it. This particular play might only work if Alex is a good passer and they can get the ball to Sam so that Sam can take a shot, for which they'll need to make sure that Taylor is there to catch a rebound in case Sam misses. It all has to happen together cohesively as a unit. Monster of the Week is a fantastic game that I really think that you should add to your collection, especially if you enjoy games like Savage Worlds and Daggerheart. The gameplay is somewhat similar in that it's open floor. If you're a horror fan, a monster fan, or a fan of mysteries and puzzles, I highly recommend that you pick this one up if you get the chance. And that is it for me, my friends. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of another video. I want to say I really appreciate everyone being here. It's been about a year since I started my YouTube journey and trying to teach other people how to play tabletop role-playing games that are alternatives to Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm having just a blast of a time with it. And that's all thanks to people like you who continue to watch my videos at least most of the way to the end. If you liked it and you want to keep hanging out and learning more about independent and alternative TTRPGs, please feel free to like the subscribe bell, hit me up on my socials. All of that information is in the description box. Thank you again, my friends, for being here. I really appreciate it. It's been such a blast for me, and I'm excited to keep this going. And until next time, play more games. Bye, nerds. Am I recording? Yes. Everything's not fine. Everything's on fire and we're all gonna die. Properly into a microphone because you are stupid. Is it worth it? Pause. Let me read. I've had nothing but coffee and angst for breakfast.